I have been looking at our roster for the 2026 season, and honestly, the intensity in the trenches is reaching a boiling point. The front office is clearly focused on protecting CJ Stroud, and today a major update emerged regarding a key free agency addition that could completely reshape how our offensive line operates. It is fascinating because this move represents a massive gamble on experience, but health concerns are casting a real shadow over his immediate future. The more I look into this situation, the more I realize just how high the stakes are for the Houston Texans. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your name and city in the comments. Let's dive into it. We are officially moving into the top 20 of our countdown for the most impactful Houston Texans heading into the 2026 season, and today we are focusing on one of the biggest free agency acquisitions of the offseason, offensive tackle Braden Smith. As Houston Texans fans, we knew this front office needed to shore up the protection for CJ Stroud after last year fell short of our Super Bowl ambitions, and Smith arrives on a 2-year, $20 million deal from the Indianapolis Colts to provide exactly that veteran presence. Smith brings over 100 starts to this locker room, and while he is coming off an injury-riddled campaign, he remains a proven force in the run game. The news of his arrival hit the fan base with a mix of cautious optimism and excitement, as we understand the desperate need for stability at the right tackle position. The truth is, his track record of high-level play makes him a massive upgrade if he can stay on the field, which is why we have him slotted at number 18 on our rankings. He brings a grit that this team thrives on, and seeing him in the facility during minicamp gave us a glimpse of what the coaching staff envisions for the trenches this fall. And honestly, while he did not participate in recent team drills, his presence creates a healthy competition with the reliable Trent Brown, who filled in admirably for us last season. The bottom line here is that Smith is a calculated gamble on talent and experience designed to solidify our blocking front, and if he manages to overcome his recent availability struggles, he could quickly prove to be the missing piece of our championship puzzle. We are all waiting to see if he can reclaim his status as an elite protector while keeping the momentum of our offense alive. Toro time. The truth is, this massive investment in Braden Smith comes after years of our front office watching the offensive line struggle to maintain elite consistency for CJ Stroud. Houston management desperately needed a veteran presence to stabilize the right side, leading them to hand out a hefty 2-year, $20 million contract this offseason. We are betting on his 105 career starts to finally provide that anchor, despite the fact that he only played in 35 of 51 available games since 2023. This is a gamble based on potential over durability, especially since he finished last season on injured reserve with a neck issue. Think about it this way. We have been down this road before with veteran linemen who brought experience but carried significant injury concerns, and the results have been historically mixed at best. Behind closed doors, DeMeco Ryans and the coaching staff are likely viewing Smith as a high-upside insurance policy who must beat out Trent Brown to justify his salary. They know they cannot afford a repeat of last year when protection lapses stalled our Super Bowl aspirations. The front office is banking on their medical team to manage his recovery, yet they are fully prepared to pivot to Brown if Smith falters during camp. It is a calculated risk that reflects their win-now mentality, acknowledging that even if he does not reach his peak, the depth he provides is better than the alternative options we suffered through previously. If Smith can stay on the field, his pedigree as a strong run blocker could transform our scheme, but until he shows us he can hold up through the grind of a full season, he remains an unproven question mark in our starting lineup. That is the reality of our current offensive line puzzle, and we really hope the gamble pays off for the team. Toro time. The reality is that securing a reliable offensive line is the absolute backbone of our Super Bowl aspirations, and Braden Smith is the final piece of that complex puzzle. As Houston Texans fans, we know our front office did not dish out $20 million just for insurance, so this move directly signals that we are no longer accepting anything less than elite protection for CJ Stroud. Smith sliding into the starting right tackle spot shifts our depth chart significantly, pushing Trent Brown into a vital swing role that provides legitimate veteran security we previously lacked. This move is an immediate upgrade that keeps our pocket clean and ensures our run game stays balanced against high-pressure fronts. Looking ahead to our pivotal schedule, having a stabilizer like Smith is going to be the difference maker when we face the physical defensive lines of teams like the Tennessee Titans under Robert Saleh, or when we go head-to-head with Shane Steichen and the Colts, who know Smith all too well. Having two capable options at right tackle means we can finally mitigate the injury risk that has plagued our unit in past seasons, giving us the roster flexibility to adapt mid-game without sacrificing production. This internal competition fundamentally raises our floor for 2026, forcing division rivals to respect our trenches more than they did last year. If this line gels under DeMeco Ryans, our path to a deep playoff run becomes much clearer because we now have the personnel to dominate the line of scrimmage against the top contenders in the AFC. We are building a winning culture from the ground up, and by solidifying the tackle position, we are ensuring that this team remains a legitimate threat from September all the way through January. Toro time is officially here, and it starts with this unit. The absolute ceiling for this signing is incredibly high because Braden Smith brings a decade of elite professional seasoning to an offensive line that desperately needed veteran poise to protect CJ Stroud. When healthy, Smith is a bulldozing force in the run game who understands professional blocking schemes better than almost anyone available this past offseason, and his presence could immediately solidify our protection on the right side. However, we have to address the elephant in the room regarding his availability, as his inability to stay on the field over the last 3 years creates a massive liability for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. Critics around the league, including several analysts in the Indianapolis media who watched his decline closely, have questioned whether he can still handle the physical toll of a full 17-game grind given his recent neck issues. The consensus from scouts is that the Texans rolled the dice on a high-upside player who might just be past his physical prime. And I will be straight with you, this is the part that gets me. Because while having Trent Brown as an insurance policy is a smart move, relying on a rotation at right tackle is rarely the recipe for championship football. I am concerned that we paid top dollar for a starter who might spend more time in the training room than in the huddle. If Smith cannot prove his durability during the upcoming training camp, the narrative surrounding this contract will shift from a savvy bargain to a wasted resource that could have been allocated elsewhere. The bottom line here is that his impact will be defined entirely by his health, and as Houston Texans fans, we should prepare ourselves for a long, unpredictable season at the tackle position that could end up being the true test of this roster. The bottom line here is that adding Braden Smith into the mix shows our front office is absolutely committed to protecting CJ Stroud at all costs. This move signals a clear shift in franchise direction toward building a perennial championship-caliber roster that can compete with the league elite during this golden window. As Houston Texans fans, you should feel optimistic yet cautious heading into the season, because while Smith brings massive veteran experience, his recent injury history creates a legitimate volatility factor that we simply cannot ignore. We have to be realistic about his availability, but knowing we have a reliable contingency plan in Trent Brown provides a sense of security this team lacked just a year ago. This strategic investment means that regardless of who starts, we have upgraded our overall depth, which is the hallmark of a true contender. When you look at the commitment to building a sturdy foundation, it becomes obvious that the leadership is doing exactly what it takes to elevate the offense to the next level. We are seeing a proactive approach that prioritizes stability, and that changes everything for how we should view our potential success this coming year. It is clear that we are building towards something sustainable, and seeing this competition unfold during training camp will define our offensive identity for the entire campaign. I am curious to know what you think about this specific positional battle. Do you believe Braden Smith will stay healthy enough to hold the starting job for the full season, or should Trent Brown be the day one starter regardless of health? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Toro time. I'll see you in the next one.